Bitter criticism. I just only have 16 minutes to do this balance. I'm always doing this balance. As I said yesterday, I guess there was I have a YouTube channel, but I'm coward. I'm coward on things like reading my emails. I'm kind of coward. I know there's mails for me, but I'm a chicken. I don't want to see. I don't want to read them. I don't want to read them because some kind of shame. Because of ven aquí, ven aquí. I will have an answer from college saying I'm still a student, but as I said before, so many times, college in Chile is kind of is a bad system because it's a poor country. Maybe this system will work in the United States of America maybe 50 years ago. Maybe never work, but maybe 50 years ago in America, people had the money, people had the ways, people have the possibility to pay loans of college, to pay college loans. Understand? That's the question. Nowadays, nobody has any money in the US, any place. So this is Indy. The question is, the West is absolutely, I don't remember the word, is dysfunctional. Yeah, we have this system where people pretend to study, Chilean society is a very cruel society, is an absolutely cruel society. You will not see this going on because as a foreigner, nobody understands nothing. Nobody understands nothing real from the countries, isn't it? So this is a very cruel country where, for example, people are classist. So just like the US, isn't it? So, and well, my problem in college in general is that I'm too old for college, I guess, for the average ages. And well, there was a lot. I guess, in my opinion, anyone who is too old for the normal ages will not be able to study, to make a college degree. I guess that's a dogma in Chile. If you are too old, you will not be able, because teachers are overexploited, and then they will not allow you to make tests alone. You will not be able to do it all alone. That's a fact, as a dogma. Of course, it's not a law. Nobody will write this, but it's an unwritten law. If you are above, I don't know, 30 years, yeah, maybe. Just for you to understand how classist is Chilean society. Maybe not 100% by age, but age in Chilean college, in Chilean society, just for you understand this. The last time, one of the last times I got a bus, a city bus. It was it was Sunday. It was 2 days ago. Then the bus driver, it was frustrated because Sunday is an empty day, so there's a lack of money. Fortunately, some bus driver died last week because of protests. You know, I really hate bus drivers. So because of the system, because of the neoliberal system, look, this classism, and then, well, this bus driver, he told me, I'm not in scholar age. That's it. He said, he looked my student pass. We have a picture here. If the picture doesn't match with your face, that's what they look. They look your picture, understand? They look your picture. Fortunately, my picture, I'm birded. Yeah. So that's I'm the only document I have. I'm not with a bear. It is my Italian passport. I guess that was a mistake too, because I'm not sure if I'm going to shave me, if I'm going to shave myself just to travel. That was a mistake, I guess. That's for that photograph, that shaved photograph. But I also thought about Islamic discrimination, you know. I also thought about that. What about well, things change, you know. Back when I take my picture for that passport, I was not considering moving to Russia or China or Kazakhstan. I was figuring out how to move to Norway, Sweden. But nowadays, I'm not into Sweden anymore. I'm studying Chinese, you know, Chinese, Russian. That's what I want. I want Eurasia, baby. Anyway, so my next passport, I guess I'm going to take a normal picture, just like that, a birded with a bear. How to say? Burr. Well, I just lost the word. Birded. Anyway, this thing, you know, beard. I guess it's beard. Well, anyway, so if you are above 30 years, you will not be able to do any college course in Chile because of discrimination, because of age discrimination. And plus, if you are not, well, let me tell you one more thing about Chile. Well, this is a absolutely precarious society. This is a misery society, poverty, and that's what people is intolerant, because the only way they found to survive here is this market language. They do a market language. They speak like liberals. They have a neoliberal language, which is an efficient language. Is not allowed to even talk about communism. Is not allowed to even talk about philosophy, sociology. You know, sociological problems in Chile are just too big to talk about them. That's the reality in Chile. Problems are just too big. Problems are just too big to talk about them. Well, that's it. You will not be allowed to. Society will not allow you to make to do because it's a very severe question. Look, if you are not accepted in society, you should be allowed to do all alone, you know. Otherwise you will not be able to do any course because of you have a beard. Understand how difficult things are in extremely poor society like Chilean. Nobody has a beard. Yeah. If you have a beard, you will be discriminated, and you will not be allowed to do the things alone. And that's how things work, or pretend to work in Chile, because nothing works. Nothing really works, I guess. And well, what can I say? I have to go to Brazil. But anyway, I thought that this week, from 2 weeks now, from 1 week now, I was not a student anymore. I didn't have the student pass, the student card, the student transport pass, like a discount. And I didn't have the food stamps, the food nutrition resources from college for students. Maybe it was a mistake. But I tend to think that if that happens, it will be fair, because I'm not really making all the classes. I'm not really making all the courses, all the signatures, because of, as I said, this is a very extreme situation. If you are not allowed to do things alone in educational institutions, it's absolutely severe. This is a absolutely unbearable situation, and that happens not only in one or two institutions, happens in all the country, in all society. If you are old, you will not be able to do any course. So at least in Brazil, there was a special category for old people. That was education for adults, for youth and adults, something. So this is a special course for old people who don't have time or anything, or are discriminated. Yeah, I'm not sure if in Brazil there's the legislation said, well, old people are discriminated, but that's the point. If you are absolutely discriminated for being old, you will be there will be no way to finish any course. And it's not only that, and it's not just like that. It's not only that. Things like this, I forgot what say, but when people say indirect messages, when people addresses messages to you indirectly because of cowardness, well, there is a lot of teachers giving you messages, indirect message way in Spanish and Portuguese. Latin people say indirects. People say indirects. Well, when people do that, even a teacher say, hey, why this guy didn't say my name, but why this guy just don't give up? Understand how terrible Chile is? Well, this is a very terrible country. So I strongly don't recommend you nothing about this Dogville, creepy place. That was just I don't know, a statement. Yeah, that was definitely a statement. Somebody has to talk about this, There's no way if you are old, you will not be able to do nothing in Chile because of social discrimination against old people. Just like that. Or maybe because of I'm Trotskyist too. So those are unforgivable aspects of me, you know. But anyway, so the West is done, I guess. The West is done, and I'm trying to make my way to China, Russia, even Brazil.